kind of deep dive into what this data set is all about. So it's a mysterious data set that emerged in 2015. Initially, it had 100 million labeled images and 15,000 categories. And for sure, it had non-consensual images because it had categories like bridal shower, baby shower. And this actually came in one of the most celebrated papers in computer vision, which basically introduced the tool of knowledge distillation for neural networks. And then, no one, they don't even clarify as to what JFT even stands for. And I had to actually kind of get the information from a CV that was shared by one of the team members who interned at Google in that period. And turns out it stands for joint photo tree. But no one in computer vision really knows what JFT really stands for. And, it basically began in 2015 with 100 million images and 15,000 categories. And in 2017, 2017 was its Annus mirabilis. So you had three, what are now considered to be, important papers in computer vision. One basically that introduced the exception architecture. The second was about revisiting the unreasonable effectiveness of large data in computer vision in deep learning era. And the third was introducing the usage of knowledge concentration as a deep learning technique. And in this, you kind of see bits and pieces of what this data set really is. And now it has grown from 100 million to 300 million. And it's not just the case that it's not a monolithic data set that just has 300 million images, because as you sift through these different papers, they have slightly different numbers that they cite. If you look at the left-hand side, this paper claimed that it had 350 million images, but the next paper said it had only 300 million images and 375 million labels. And then it also had an extended version that is called as entity photo tree that had 100,000 classes instead of 20,000 classes and 5 million images. So it's like this untalked about, it's kind of talked about in hush-hush tones, and no one really knows what Jft 300M entails. And Google has never published an audit of this data set. And there's no clarity as to what even the EFT, its larger cousin, even stands for. Because if you look at the resume, the researcher claimed that it stood for extended joint photo tree. But when it appeared in the paper, they said it's actually called entity photo tree, and it only has 5 million images. So I'm pretty sure Google has a data set out there which has maybe billions of images, none of which are or a very tiny number of which are consensually obtained, which is kind of perfectly fine with the excuse, if one can call it that it's a commercial entity, it's a for-profit entity, it's not an academic institution. But then they kind of do this dual role of trying to pretend to be woke and ethical and do no evil kind of a thing, while basically kind of doing this within the the ambit of peer-reviewed academic literature. This is not inside of some hidden company report. This is actually in peer-reviewed academic literature that we are kind of seeing these transcriptions unrolling.